program turned into a sort of machine for observing facts and grinding conclusions. I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have designedly created a parasitic wasp with the express intention of feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. This quote comes from the man who is not the founder of natural selection, but is one of the most famous scientists who believed in this theory, Charles Darwin. This man had the sole mission of gathering enough evidence to support the theory of evolution to be the explanation of life's development. The theory that all life came from one basic form of life. Over an extensive period of time, millions of years, changes happened that allowed different species to thrive while the weaker and less equipped species were either wiped away or trapped in their form of existing. With that, evolution can be considered a change or growth in life to be better equipped for survival. Well, today, what would you call life? What's a way of living? An answer to both of those questions is culture. Music, food, fashion, language, technology, education, tradition, laws, art, etiquette, the type of bed you sleep in, the table you dine upon, whether or not you take off your shoes when you're in your house. These are all factors of culture and have all experienced some sort of change to become what it is today. Whether the change is large or minute, a change is still a form of evolving. One important part of culture that has evolved countlessly over the years is dance. Ballet. The backbone of dance. It's based on the techniques that have been developed for centuries. Jazz, relying on originality and improvisation, but still some techniques from ballet are present and changed. For example, the pointed foot, pliés, pirouettes, and leaps. Hip-hop involves breaking, popping, locking, crumping, and modern dance. Now, modern dance took ballet and ripped it apart and made it the opposite to express inner feelings. Standing up? Nope. You better get down on the floor and strike some sort of uncomfortable pose. Pointed feet? Ha! Let's flex them. Rebellious? That's modern dance for you. Expressing your feelings with your body rather than words. Words, however, have been able to express culture. What is language? The following words each mean hello, respectively in English, Swedish, Spanish, Hawaiian, and Japanese. Hello. Haleo. Hola. Aloha. Konnichiwa. Though some are more similar to others, languages all have their roots in the same part of the world. The question many linguists desire to answer someday is, what is the true origin of language? We know of several origins of other languages. Spanish and Portuguese coming from Ibero-Romance, French from Gallo-Romance, both from Western Romance, which comes from Continental Romance, which originated from Vulgar Latin, which brings us to Latin. But what about the origin of Latin, or the origin of Latin? Not much is known, but experiments have been done. The Bouba Kiki effect. You have two objects, a round and smooth object, and a sharp-cornered one. Which we call boba and which we call kiki. 97% of the experiment's participants believed boba was the round and circular object, while kiki was a sharper one based on the way they look and sound. Try saying it to yourself. Boba, kiki, boba kiki, boba boba kiki, kiki kiki boba, boba boba kiki, kiki kiki Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, all Pokemon that any 90s kids with a childhood would be familiar with. In the video game, you would catch these fictional animal-inspired creatures called Pokemon, and you would battle other trainers using these Pokemon. The stronger a Pokemon would gain experience levels, while weaker ones gain none. The stronger the Pokemon, the higher the level, and once a specific level was reached, your Pokemon could evolve. For example, Bulbasaur evolved into Ivysaur, and then Ivysaur evolved into Venusaur. Each evolved form was stronger and better equipped for survival than the previous evolution. Sounds familiar. Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur, Boba, Kiki, Kiki, Boba, Boba, Kiki, let's have a Kiki.
A Kiki is a party for calming all your nerves. We're spilling tea and dishing just desserts one may deserve. And though the sun is rising, few may choose to leave. So shade that lid and we'll all bid adieu to your ennui. Let's have a Kiki.
These are lyrics from the song Let's Have a Kiki by the Scissor Sisters. You can hear it in nightclubs or on YouTube today. What do you listen to on your iPod? Adele, Avicii, Calvin Harris. In 1992's Top Hits, the year I was born, DJ Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back was number 2, Michael Jackson's Black or White was 14, and Elton John's The One was 24. However, what about the year 1824? People could not just hit play on their iPod and listen to the latest symphony. They had to go to a live performance to enjoy Beethoven's The Symphony No. 9 in D minor to hear the final complete symphony of Ludwig van Beethoven. Music sure has changed and evolved over time. Many people do still listen to classical music or the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, yet the most popular local radio stations are Pandora Radio or the iTunes Store, usually promote the most recent music. Speaking of iTunes, Apple is a great example of cultural development. Technology has an immense impact on culture as a whole. Communication and life in general is so much easier with the internet and airplanes than sailboats from back in Christopher Columbus's day. Anyways, rewind. Apple. What is Apple about? Providing the best technology for you, even though the smallest drop will cause you to repair the merchandise or get a new one for $10 more. From the first iPod to the next one with a camera, to the next one that's a phone with a camera, to the next one with a better camera, to the next one where you can have a secretary that has a better camera, lens cover. Even though these changes are small, they're still evolutions of the original, and they are all new images to our culture. If they are a part of our culture and are developing, that means they're examples of cultural development. Music, food, fashion, language, technology, education, tradition, laws, art, etiquette, the type of bed you sleep in, the table you dine upon, whether or not you take off your shoes when you're in your house. All of them are examples of culture. All of them have evolved at some point. That is why evolution can be used as a valid model for cultural development.
Kiki is a party for calming all your nerves. We're spilling tea and dishing just desserts one may deserve. And though the sun is rising, few may choose to leave. So